Well, every now and then we catch up on Sporting Coast. Tonight we check in on our rugby front. We are joined by in-house rugby analyst. Is the door of the trio, which are the room dividers. You're the door.
I don't know. I might be in the middle.
Yeah. Thando, welcome to Sports on Prime. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's speak rugby before we get to the Springboks and Coach Alistair Coetzee, because I know this weekend was fairly important. His first box squad. Let's touch on the EP Kings. You were in the homeland,
yes, in
for the Eastern Province franchise. Yeah. What's the latest from that front?
Look, I think as many people had anticipated that something would go wrong on the day going to court. Remember, there was a provisional liquidation that was placed, and it came from March, and then it was postponed to early May, and then they asked for postponement again. But leading to the 31st of May, which was yesterday, last week there was a report coming that there was a UK company that was willing to put 100 million in aid of Eastern Province Rugby, sort of to come in as a sponsor, and also to sort of cut all these expenditures that they were experiencing in order for them to run as a union. So I think the base of the postponement then yesterday was that there was this company, this UK-based company, not much is known about. What we all know, if you go on the website, there is the logo of the Springboks that is there, but whether it's a bogus company or not, it remains to be seen. However, the judge that was presiding over the matter, Judge Dunya, then postponed the matter to the 4th of August, and also it gave this time around the applicants, which is all the joint players that have filed for the liquidation, an opportunity then to investigate where the money is coming from, if the money is there, if they want the money as well. So, and also you've got to understand that when they come, they'll file in their papers 28th of June. Eastern Province Kings will be giving very limited time in order for them to reply to those facts. If not, then the 4th of August, what you'll find then is the judge will decide. If the money is not put forward, or they haven't seen the business rescue plan as per the say or the media reports, then unfortunately for EP Rugby, it will have to be liquidated, and meaning that there will no longer be rugby in Port Elizabeth.
That's the sad part about that, Thando. They've just come back from one of a fighting spirit match against the Jaguars of the weekend. 29-22 victory, I think the final score was there. The glimpses that we are getting when you see this team day in and day out, one says to yourself, if only they didn't have the off-the-field battles, there's something in that team.
Look, it's all about the off-the-field battles. I think what we need to understand is the Southern Kings belongs to SARU. It is run entirely by SARU. Nothing is run from the Eastern Province King. What the clubs then did do early on in the year, I think in March, was to ask SARU to take over the administration, like the people from the border region had asked earlier to run the administration. Border is in a very good position, although they're still paying off the debts, but they is running off nicely now. So you find that Eastern Province find themselves in a similar situation. Minus 90 million. That's the EP Kings. That's the deficit that they're in. And I mean, it's promises from the Eastern Province President, Chicky Watson, and his executive all day long. But what happened was, yesterday night, there was also supposed to be a vote of no confidence.
How does Chicky Watson survive all of these, Thando? I mean, it's the most amazing thing.
It's a one word, it's sabotage. He sabotages people. I mean, for example, you have underlying rural clubs that were meant to come to the vote of no confidence meeting. What happens there is simple: is they have to get transport for them to come down. If they're coming from Graaff-Reinet, for example, or Grahamstown, which is they're affiliated to the EP Kings or EP Rugby as per se, they needed to be given transport. They needed to be reminded via a fax. They needed to be reminded via SMSs that the meeting indeed is taking place at such and such an event, and transport would have to be then put into the club's pockets for them to be able to come to the meeting and also drive back to their respective homes as well. That didn't happen, meaning that then the quorum, the meeting didn't reach the quorum that was needed, so therefore the meeting has to be postponed for another 70. These are delaying tactics of a man that for me is mainly a ghost president. He has no power at this stage as we speak, as SARU has taken over the administration. Then for me, the only thing for him to do is just resign. Not not temporarily. He wants to temporarily resign. I've never heard of someone saying that I'm temporarily resigning. I've heard of people resigning and give new people to come in to take over.
Temporarily resign. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Look, we're going to get into that. I know we're running out of time. I'm going to ask our director to add about another minute or so in this conversation. Yeah. The big one over the weekend, South African rugby, a month ago, you were there, new coach was announced. This weekend, Alistair Coetzee comes out, his first squad. Take us through it. What are your thoughts? I mean, I thought it was a good squad. I mean,
you can't think. It is. Players are picked on form.
Yeah.
And also, it's SA Rugby. It's Springbok Rugby. Rebuilding, which is very important in terms of the structures, having a new guy on board. And also, what is important is the cleverly thought out team put down by Alistair. Now, it just puts question marks. How cohesively can he steer the ship towards where we want it to be? Because he's got the players. I mean, he's selected 8 players that have never played test rugby.
Yeah.
That's a brave decision.
Yeah.
So meaning that we've got a brave coach, he stands by his players and he supports them going forward. He selected Adrian Strauss. Many people had pondered that Pat Lambie would be captain. Yep. And, it's just a pity for them that he didn't be, because I get a sense that Elton Jantjies will start come the 11th of June.
I think he has to start. And he's earned it.
He has to start. Why he has to start is Faf de Klerk. That combination has been deadly for the Lions. That's why the Lions are enjoying the success that they've enjoyed in 2016 because of that half-back pairing that has played so well and also played enterprising rugby. So for me, people is rebuilding, re-establishing. Let's put it in one pocket. It goes hand in hand. It's in sync with one another, and also it will take South Africa to greater heights. It's never happened before in its 125 years of existence where you see such a sort of a squad that has been put together, that is selected on form, that has got the youngsters, it's got the exuberance of the youngsters that are in the squad. Yes, it's a good mix as well. We have to say. We have to say it's a good mix of experience and young players. But also, it's a 4-year process. If the coach then says, I'm selecting my captain based on the 3 test series, then it means that someone else is also being looked at to captain either the rugby championship. So it's good. The competition is also quite healthy.
Speaking about that captain, what do you make of the captain selection? I mean, a lot of, like we're saying, a lot of names. Your Patrick Lambies, your even Beast, I think, came up now and then. I think the injuries over the past couple of, have kind of paid to his aspirations. What do you make of this captain?
Well, I mean, 4 names were in the hat, and 4 captains of different franchises were in the mix. Pat Lambie was in the mix. Frans Malherbe was in the mix. You've got Beast Mtawarila that was also in the mix. But I think what Alistair did then is he was not biased in terms of him directly going for Frans Malherbe. He went for a boy coming from Bloemfontein, who went from Bloemfontein, went to the Bulls. Someone just different. So what does it show you? It shows that this is a guy who's going to lead the Springbok, who's been chosen by the coach and who's been identified, not because of provincialism or favoritism, but because something has been seen, what he could do. He captained the Cheetahs. I mean, he's done well for the Bulls now.
Let's take a quick look at the team. I know my director said we need to wrap. Let's go quickly through the team. These are some of the backs that were chosen. Garth April from the Sharks. I think he has had a good season as well. Good run for the Sharks, on and off, so to speak.
He's a good all-rounder to be in the side. I mean, this is 2 years ago. This player was playing club rugby. For him to see in the incoming tour is very good. Ruan Combrink, for me, excited to see the Lions winger in the mix. Damien Dialinda was always going to be there. But also Nick Groom. I think many people were left in awe to see Nick Groom's name there. But I mean, Alistair Coetzee has coached him ever since he came into the senior team of the province team. I mean, Willie Leroux is also there, so that's experience. Many people would have thought Willie Leroux might not be in the mix, certainly is. And then instead of Johan Goosen, JB Peterson, the experienced man is there. Jan Serfontein is at a blinder with the Bulls. Rudy Page also, I think he'll get a better chance. But Lionel Mapu, for me, this is a guy that's only played 2 minutes of test rugby under Heine Kemeya. He will now definitely start at the number 13 jersey.
Some other forwards, and for me, always one of those players that has always been probably strong player as far as he deserves a call up as far as that one. Sia, good to see Sia there. We've always said he deserves undoubtedly to have a good one. Frans Alo, what do you make of him?
Well, if you look at Tiako Kriel, you look at Siya Kolisi, firebrand flank forwards that we do have. It's interesting you make a mention of Siya Kolisi. For me, he's played 13 tests, and all those tests he's been coming off as a sub, and I think now he gets an opportunity to start as a flank forward, and we actually see the man's ability and also the talent that he possesses. Frans Malherbe, he will always be a strong scrummager as a tight head, and also you look at Skhumbuza Noche. What a surprise name to see in the mix there.
Peter
a young number 8
was out, just to make sure, Peter Steph is out of that squad, so apologies for that. Well, Mbonambi, that for me is a good selection. You know, it's always good, once again, one of those players that you want to see start because they've paid their dues.
Yeah, but also who brought Bongi Mbonambi to the Stormers is Alistair Coetzee, and also gave him the opportunity to play. So for him, it makes sense to bring a guy that is always identified as someone that could add value into the squad. I mean, it's interesting you talk of Peter Steph du Toit. I mean, he's been unfortunate. He's very much been unfortunate over his career, plagued by so many injuries. He's replaced by the Lions' Locke Mostert. But also, another man's miss is another man's gain.
Yeah, another man's food is another man's poison. Thando Manana speaking to us right on Sports and Prime. Always a pleasure having you, Chief. I think one of these days you must just ask for full 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's up to you. Ask the director.
Hey,
buy him lunch.
Hey, the boss is saying, hey, move on, move on.
Let's
Thando Manana, SABC, in fact, SABC News in-house rugby analyst and former Springbok player speaking to us right in the show. Before we leave, another story that I know Thando